This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 432.
I program my own computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. We have the technology. The technology.
Why, hello everybody, this is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events. We have one, actually. WordCamp Warsaw out in Poland, June 11th and 12th. I'm not going. And if you're there, by all means, go, as I always say. And that gives me the segue into the WordCamp Europe out in Porto, Portugal update. As I mentioned here on the podcast last month, I was going to go, and then I wasn't going to go just because I just came back from Michigan, and I was like, okay, I just did a trip, and I'm supposed to be going to California again, like in 2 weeks. So I was going to go, then I wasn't going to go, and then I was going to go again, like literally the day before. I was on a mastermind call with my mastermind group, and a little bit of peer pressure. I'm like, okay, and I looked at it, and I was going to go, and I got all these conflicting reports back regarding what it took to get back in the country and even to get overseas as far as the COVID vaccine, all that stuff. So I didn't go. It just started stressing me out. Just short notice. I would have had to leave like that night on the 3rd. I would have gotten there at 9 a.m. on the 4th. And it looked fantastic, all the photos and seeing people online. I definitely had FOMO, but I wound up not going. I'm currently scheduled to attend WordCamp US in September in San Diego, so hopefully that'll work out. All right, so there's the update there. All right, moving on. No other events coming up that I see or hear about right now. So moving on, segment 1 in the news. A couple of things here. First and foremost, instawp.com. It's a service that you see, spin up quick sites for testing. They got some seed funding from Automattic. I spoke about them, if I'm not mistaken, last year. Maybe it was earlier this year. It's been so long. About a tip and tool of the week. So check them out. There's a link in the show notes. Oh, you can also go to instawp.com. In the top header, it says we got funding. That's interesting as well. Also, Delicious Brains. They are a company, a WordPress product company, has sold 5 of its plugins to WP Engine, the hosting company. What was sold was advanced custom fields, which we use and we have, WP Migrate, WP Offload Media, WP Offload SES, and Better Search Replace. So congratulations to all those involved there. And one last thing I want to mention here is my new photo sharing project. Images on Twitter. There's a story behind it. 10 years ago, I went to my first WordCamp, which was Orange County, 2012. I look at photos every day in my app, and I see them, and I send them to friends and this and that, different group chats. I decided to put them on Twitter with the hashtag, and actually the hashtag in this case is, so you can find it, and it'll be on my website eventually as well. Adding a plugin there. But the hashtag is going to be KSWP_photo. So whenever I look at my camera roll, if I see a photo or up to 4 photos from a WordPress event, WordCamp or WordPress event, I will put them that day around noon Eastern or wherever I am, local time, up online and tag whoever I can kind of recognize in those photos. Kind of fun to go back and see what's going on in the last 10 years. Okay, that's that in the news. Yeah, that's it for the news. And moving on, segment 2, the meat potatoes of this week's episode, WordPress 6.0. Okay, so like I mentioned last week or a week before, this week I'm going to talk about WordPress 6.0. I decided to create a brand new installation this time, not use my starter site with my plugins and my themes, just a clean, non-optimized site on my dev server. Now, also, I didn't have anything in mind to build. I was just checking out all the new bells and whistles I had heard about and read about, and I got to tell you, wow, there are a bunch. So with that, the items and changes I took note of and tested per notes of previous versions of WordPress that I was checking into, the past year or two with the blog editor, etc., are as follows. These are in no specific order. And some of these were not even in earlier versions, obviously, but I read about them. So I specifically sought them out to try out. So, like, for example, first and foremost, I know there's 6 of them, because of version 6. Here are my 6 top that I found I want to share with you. First and foremost, block locking, meaning that's kind of a weird way to say it, but block locking. It allows you to lock a block to prevent users from removing it or changing its location, its position on the site, on the page, excuse me. So in the past, you can easily, relatively simply, people would accidentally move blocks around. So they can actually lock the block. So that's number one. It's kind of fun to say that. I don't know why. I'm giggling. All right. Number two, easier text selection across multiple blocks. Now, this was a bit difficult for users to be able to select text between multiple WordPress blocks, including myself. It wasn't simple. It's easier now. I've tested this. It is easier. I don't really have any more to say in that, except that I'm like, okay, cool. That works much better. I'm not sure what changed or how they changed it, but it is easier. Okay. Number three, you could choose the opacity of the separator block. We use, for some reason, a lot of separators in the designs that we do for clients. Obviously in our stacks, different than this, but now you can change the opacity of a separator block it can have gradients and opacity control. Pretty cool. I like that a lot. Number four was a new stack block. The new stack block allows you to stack your content vertically, which allows you to build responsive groups, rows, and now stacks. Pretty cool. I thought that was kind of neat. Number five. You can copy the image URL from Media Library List View. So we find ourselves often doing this task, showing clients how to do it, how to find a URL of an image that they can use somewhere else. Now you can actually easily copy the image URL from the Media Library List View, which is pretty cool. So that was kind of a neat little thing. And finally, number six, so WordPress 6.0 now has 5 new template options within the site editor. If you recall, when I mentioned this, I think last year, that you could modify a bunch of the templates. Now there's 5 new templates, including author, date, categories, tag, and taxonomy. So you have a lot more control on those templates to have design element control from the ground up kind of thing. So I thought it was pretty cool. All right, so those are the 6. Again, pretty brief. I'm not going to go too deep and dive into this right now because A, it's audio, B, there's stuff out there already, but these are my 6 that I kind of wanted to, that popped out to me, I thought were worth sharing with you. So again, moving forward, I'm not sure where my agency, are at the moment. In the sense, what I mean, I do know. I'm not going to throw in the towel with our current stack. We're not going to step away from it overnight. But I can definitely see a use case presenting itself in the next few months. I really could. Maybe sometime this year, if not by next year, for sure. And using defaults, if you will, just like the basic template and themes without a page builder, possibly. I can see it coming slowly but surely. It's getting really close. It just needs to be the right project to try it out on. So there you go. Okay, do you like version 6? Any complaints? Let me know. Love to hear about it. All right, moving on, segment 3, tip and tool of the week. This week's tip, it's a website over at RoadMap.SH. It's a community effort to create roadmaps and guides and other educational content to help guide the developers in picking the path to guide their learnings. It's free. It's pretty cool, RoadMap.SH. So check that out over there. All right. We'll wrap it up here. If you have any questions, go ahead and send it in via email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com. You can use the speak pipe function of the website, of course. If you want to support the show, I'd be so happy to have that happen. You can become a Patreon or you can become a sponsor. There's a form on the website. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right? Bye-bye.